everyone. So for tonight, we're going to continue from where we stopped, and this training is from Blue Sky Citadel. So we're going to start from where we stopped last week. So I'll just go through what we did last week. So last week we created our test framework, and we've also created our test runner, so which is this one. So we have everything on. I will show you where you can get a copy of this on our site. Later, 1 minute, I can show that right now. So you can see the test runner on this particular site. So if you go to down, yeah, we have the test runner here. And also, we've also got our POM created. So this is the POM. So, and then we've updated the POM with, and also we have our test-ng. So those things you can get on the site actually from this site. Bluesky.com, test automation end-to-end. So you can get every of those scripts on there. So if you continue from there, though we created a login feature, so we're going to start from there right now. So what we need to do now, create a new feature file. So before we do that, I'm going to go through the story that we are about to test. So what we want to do is I want to go navigate to this particular test page, and then we would enter our first name, enter our last name, then enter the email address. So for this, and then we can click on submit. So that's what we would do this evening actually. So okay, let's go along. So the first thing we want to do, create our feature file, new file. So it's going to be, let's say it is, we call it Blue Sky form test dot feature, and you click on OK. So you have that here. So the next one, we want to write our given when then. So let's say we have our feature. So what is the test that we want to do? We call it Blue Sky test. Then we call this particular scenario. We call this scenario, let's say, form test. Then given I navigate. So we are not doing Blue Sky. Okay. Then when I enter first name and I enter last name, and let's see what other thing. Okay, let's say we select the age. We just go in the select, and I select age 18 to 30. So in this instance, we are not going to use parameter. So we're going to do that later. So this is going to be only easy scenario. So in the next week, we're going to start how to parameterize our test. So, and I click submit, click on submit. then the form is submitted. So this is what we want to do. Like I said last week, now we have two ways of doing this. We can either create our step definition from here, and so it's okay, we've not actually got a step. So we can create our step definition from here by clicking on that and say create step definition and select the where we want to, or you create a new file. Or we could as well just run it and expect it to fail and copy that from the first one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the two approaches actually. The first one, let me force. The first one, let's say we create our scenario. So, but I would use a new file. So I want my file, I want to use only Java, not Java 8. So because I'm using Java 11 anyway. So then I'll call it blue sky from step. Then I want to save it in my blue sky UI test for SRC test and Java, which is this path, SRC test and Java. So, but my test is also inside this step definition. So I need to put that into step definition. So I would put that into this step definition and I click on OK. So then when I say OK, that should create my step definition for me. So that's my step definition with only one given clause. So if I run this test now, let's say I run this test. So I can go into, there are two ways to run this test. You can run it by right clicking here and say run your test, or you can click on your Maven and you can click on test. So from here, I think someone actually said I cannot see Maven. So sometimes it's like this actually. So you need to click on the right one on Maven in your taskbar, and then you click on test. So depending on what you prefer. So I will right click on this, because another thing that this one also allows you to do is to also debug your test. So but I'm going to run the feature. Then you look into here, as you can see, it's actually building. So after that has finished without any error, it's going to start to run the test. So as you can see, it's bringing some error messages for me. So, and that is what I'm expecting to get. So, and it said, so you would, let's go back again. Yeah, it's say you can implement. So it actually says there's some missing steps. So there's some steps that are missing, so which I need to implement. So that's what is saying at the top. So if I go to the very top where the error is, 1 minute. So yeah, those steps are missing. So now says undefined steps. So then what is now telling me is like, so I can implement the missing step with this particular, with all these snippets below. So I can copy those snippets that is telling me, so then paste it in my step definition. So, okay, copy those ones, copy, then paste it into my step definition. When I am pasting it, ensure that you are pasting it before this particular closing braces, because this closing braces is the one that starts that class and ends this particular instance. So sometimes this is what I would do. I make sure I put that one back. Then I can paste what is in my snippet. Then I paste that here. So as you can see, it's pasted now with some error messages actually. So the pending exceptions is there, so I can resolve those ones by clicking on that particular error. As you can see, when I hover on it, it's going to propose something for me saying that, yeah, there are multiple choices for me to implement in terms of what I could do. So I can press Alt Enter. So Alt Enter gives me this actually. So two options of pending exception library or jar that I can use. So I would use the one with Cucumber because that's what I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the security UTL one. I'm going to be using the one that comes with Cucumber API. So I'll click on that one. That is gone. So now on my when, there's another one also. I'll do the same thing, press Alt Enter. So that automatically goes because there's no double issues that or double what's the options that I can select. But that is basically add the when clause to as a jar at the top. So he actually imported that for me. So then I think I've got it then also to do the same thing. As you can see, it says even when I mouse over it. So 1 minute. So yeah, and you click on it, then it says cucumber.api.java.en then. So is that what I want to add? If that is true, I press Alt Enter. Yeah, I want that. So that also adds the jar. He imported the jar for the then at the top. So everything is done right now, and I've got my step definition created. So the next step is now for me to write my test. So first thing that you need to do in your class, the first thing that you want to do is initialize Webdriver. So to initialize Webdriver, you just need to say web. As you can see, is a Webdriver. So driver. So this you would do at the uppercase. I know some people are here without knowledge of Java or object-oriented program. So I'm going to be telling you what you need to be putting this actually. So one thing, yeah, your WebDriver initialization should be at the top because we need to use it in different methods that we have right now. So that it is global in this particular class, you will put it at the top. So then also to make it easier to readable for people that are starting, I'll put this back. So then you can see how my braces open and closes. This one opens at this point and it closes at the end here. So you need to know what you're opening and what you're closing. Then all my method is starting with a closing and opening braces. As you can see, that is one opening and one closing. The same thing also with this one also, it opens and it closes here. There's another one also you need to know so that when you are copying things, you need to know where you are pasting them and how you are copying them. So you can see, so I'm just using this as a example so you know where to post or where to put your stuff. So you can, where you are putting your code is very, very important so that you don't put it outside any of the context it's meant to be. So now I'll quickly read what you have. So in the next one, you have a given. So you have a binding, right? So this is a Cucumber binding that says given, I navigate to Blue Sky Citadel form site. So this one now binds to this particular method. So in this method, you will write how to navigate to Blue Sky Citadel.com. So to do that, there's something you need to do. We might have to move it later. The first thing you need to do is to first navigate to, or the first thing you need to open your browser. Tonight, we're going to try to use Firefox. So for us to do that, there's something that we need to do is set our properties system. So system dot set properties. So then this one, because before you can use your browser, it's very, very important to set your properties for this particular case. So you would put Webdriver dot for, because we are going to be using Firefox, we say Gecko driver, then comma. So now another open and close spaces. So yeah, and let me close this one. So the first one, maybe I should go back a bit to just to be sure. This goes into the first open and close quotes, and now the second open and close quote, the quote, the next quote. This is where you put your path to where Gecko driver is downloaded. So let's go quickly, and I've already downloaded mine anyway, but I would show you quickly what you need to do. So let's put that and put download. So you would see releases on GitHub, and this is one version. Let's see. So right, I'm going to be using this one. Then you can save it wherever you want to save it. So that is this. So I want to save it in my D drive. So where it's Firefox. So there's where I've got is saved anyway, so I don't need to save it anyway again. So that's, so you paste it to where, and you can, for other people, you extract it and you paste it in a location. Then you get that location that you pasted it, and you go into this path. This now represents where you pasted it. So in my own case, right, so if I go back right now, I copied that location. That is where my Gecko driver is, and I paste it here. As you can see, also it does something for me. As it, if I go into Notepad, if I paste what I've copied, as you can see, it's got one slash. It's got one slash, but in Java, slash, before you can use this particular slash in Java, you have to escape it. To escape it, you have to put another slash to be, so that you can remember, you can understand that is a slash that you're talking about, or you're not talking about division or something like that. Or so that's purpose. So it's kind of an escape. So you can see it's put double. So it's an IntelliJ is wise enough to replace it for you automatically. So that's what he's doing for you. So now, so that is my path, but it's the path to the, so it's the path to the Gecko driver that I'm looking for. So I'm going to copy this. So then, so I'm going to say something quickly. So now, when I'm going to do my own path, I will do double also, so that I know that it's to this path. So one thing that some people, students also ask is that, as you can see, my own Gecko driver has got exe. In some cases, maybe yours doesn't have that. So because it might have only Gecko driver, it's also possible that you've not enabled extension, file extension. So if I disable that one, you can see it's gone. It's going to go Gecko driver. It's a good practice. So if you don't know the extension that you are copying, so what I need to do is I need to click on the view and click on file name extension. So with that, the extension, appears. So this applies to all the files in your system. So from henceforth, you'll be seeing the extension listed when you go to File Explorer. So now let's go back. So this is now, we've done this. The next thing that you need to do, so I'll put step 1. So set your system path. So then after that, so what you need to do, let me minimize this a little. Okay, so then step 2, so this is also the next thing that you would do, is to now, you need to now declare. No, first thing we've done, sorry, this is not instantiate, this is declare. This is you declaring your WebDriver. So I would put that as step 1. Apologies for that. Step 1, declare your driver. So this is going to be step 2. Step 2. So step 3. So as you can see, I am putting / at the end. That's a comment. So anything that is on the / double slash is not going to be executed. So I can write anything that I want to write in there. So it's not going to be executed. So even if it's jargon, it's fine, because computer is not going to compile that as part of your program. So step 2. So then step 3. So this is step 3. So now you need to instantiate. So you need to instantiate your, what's it called? What do we need to, your Firefox driver. So that's step 3. So step 3, instantiate your Firefox driver. So to do that, because the first thing, we've declared it at the top. So if you declare it inside, you also you will do the instantiation. You will instantiate also in there. So it's driver. That's what we call our driver. So is equal to new. So now we need to say Firefox driver. As you can see, it's bringing suggestion for me. So I can take that one and say that's what I want. And after that, braces, semicolon. So that is your step 2. So now let's go. That is going to open browser for us. Even if you do that, let's run it quickly and see what that does. So right, let's go run. Let's see, that is building. It's a good practice to check the status at the bottom. Okay, so there is error. Okay, let's check what that is. Okay, the system. Okay, I think it's just complaining about the one I haven't done. So we can continue, or I can comment those one out and see how this works. But let's continue anyway. So I said step 3 is this. Then step 4 is we're going to do step 4 is now navigate, right? Step 4. So navigate. to URL. So this is where you would now need to navigate to that URL that you want to go to. So what's that particular page? To do that, you would just call your driver. I used to say your driver is your errand boy, to be honest, that you would be calling every time where you are going to. So you say, Mr. Driver, yes, what do you want to do? I want to get to somewhere. Where do you want to get to? That's your URL. So since we are going to be implementing this website, we're going to go to directly to that URL. So we're going to put that URL in a quote. So that the URL you are going to provide, you're going to be going to has to be in the quote. So it's a good practice to first put the quote and see that there's no error right now. So because this is going to work, but it's not going to go to any URL. But I want to go to this particular URL. I paste it inside. So this is what it's going to do for me. So now this particular given is going to set my properties, initialize my driver, then navigate to the URL. That is what it's going to do for me. So which is the first step from here. So the first step is this one. So which we've already implemented. So then the next step is when I enter first name. So this one now, you need to go into that. So you need to go into that particular step and see what you would need to do to the steps. So to do that, you can press Alt Enter. I think it is here. Oh, hold on, I think. Okay, my system is becoming slow. Okay, hold on. Then you can find go to. So it's Control B. Yeah, you can say Control plus B or Alt Home instead, actually. So then you go to, declare or implement anyone that you think go to. So that's a question. Okay, all right. So that's it. I need to 1 minute quickly. Let me just send the URL that we are going to is this one. So if I can paste it to you guys. Yes, okay, that's this URL. So let's continue. So like I said, so you can go to, if you click on this one, you would go to, click on go to an implementation, Control A and B. So you go into that. So now this is where we need, as you can see, it's even telling you, write your code here to turn this phrase into concrete actions. So this is what you need to do. So now to write my code there, what do I need to do? So I need to enter first name. So hold on. Okay, I think this is duplicate, so I need to remove one of this one. So I've got duplicates here. So because of what I did, so this is no good. So I can remove the one at the top. Okay, so that is fine because I've got the give and navigate twice in there. So okay, now this one now. So this is where I need to enter the first name. So if I go back to this side, so I want to enter my first name. Let's say is JG. I need to enter that. So what you need to do is just inspect the elements. Last week I spoke about how to inspect different elements, but today I'm not going to go through that. If you want to know, you go into the browser. Okay, I'm going to paste the code right now that I've done. So to you guys, so that you can go through it as we mean. One minute. So there you go. So that is the code. If you want the full one, which it is here, so that is the code for the full one. Then I will do this also. So that is the feature file I've just sent to you. All right, let's continue now. So we are here now. So like I said, now we need to inspect these elements. So how to inspect elements, as I covered this last week extensively. So you need to look into the video that we have online and look into inspecting elements. So I think that you can go through that video. So here I'm going to inspect the elements now. Inspect elements. So this is the element I'm looking for. I can right click. So okay, in the first instance, let's see what I've got. I've got ID here. So I can use that ID. Let's start from that as a simple scenario. So then if I go back to my code, I want to send someone an errand. As you know, my errand boy is my driver. So I'm going to say driver, yes. I'm going to say, okay, what do you want me to do? I want you to find an element for me. Okay, find an element. Oh, sorry about that. So driver, yeah, Mr. What do you want to do? I want to find an element. So, okay. So which element are you finding? So I'm going to say I'm finding this element by. So by what? By ID. So as you can see. So then what is the ID? I put that ID in a quote. Then I can paste what I've copied. Then do that. So that is going to find the element for me. So then after you find the element, what do I need to do with this element? So I need to type into the element. So now I put a click, then send keys. So send keys will allow you to type into that element. Then what do you want to type? You put your code in there. So what you want to type will go into that code. I want to type my name, DJ. That's my first name. So that's what it's going to do for you. That's it. That is, this particular step would enter your first name into that particular text field. So then let's go to our feature file again. So now last name. So we do the same thing. We go into the implementation of that. So this is what we need to implement. So I would replace that. So now what do I need to do? I need to call my driver also. But before I do that, I need to know the element I'm going to be calling. So I will go and say I want to call the last name. So this is the last name, and also it's got the ID. But in this instance, we would try not to use ID as that, like that. We will say, okay, let's use CSS. So we copy the CSS selector. So it's okay to use ID in this instance, but for practice sake, we're going to use CSS. So now we call our driver, Mr. Driver. Yes, here I am. What do you want for me? I want you to find an element for me. So how do you want to find it? By now, we want to say CSS selector. So yeah, by CSS selector. So what selector are we talking about? You put that in quotes and you paste it. Right, that is the selector. So now, after he has found that particular element, what do you want to do? You want to send keys. You want to type inside. So what do you want to type? You put that also in the quotes. So I want to type my name, which is my surname, Ogunlaja. That is that. I've done that bit. So the next one now is the age. This is quite simple, right? I need to inspect that element, then click on it, because that's what you would do. So I need to go into that element, and I say, where is that element? This one. I need to click on this one. So you right click and you say inspect elements, and that is this element. So then what do you need to do? Let's see what else we can use. Some people also favor using XPath. For the sake of training, we would use XPath in this one. We say, okay, copy XPath. So we go into our code and we call our popular driver. Driver, yes, ERM, what do you want? I want to find elements. So please, by what? So now I want you to find it back for me by XPath. Okay, what is this XPath? So I paste that into my code. That's the XPath I need. So then so my driver will now be telling me that's the what at the end. What do you want from this element? What do you want to do with this element? So yes, I want to click this element. You put that, and that's what you've done. Finished. So then the next one is the submit, right? So you go into that element and you do the same thing for the submit button. So when I click on the submit button, so let's go to the submit, that is very bottom. So I right click. Oh, unfortunately submitted. So you need to right click. Okay, so I need to right click. One way, okay, right click and inspect. Another thing also, you can say F12 to bring that out for you. So, or you could, as well, since it's already here, you can click on this arrow and you drag it to the control that you're looking for. That selects the element for you, and that's what you could do also. So now let's look at different way to do this also that is still okay. So we copy that particular and we say, well, so CSS selector, XPath, CSS path. I think I would not use those. I would still go with selector, or let's say has it got a name that we can use? No, it's got no names. So I don't favor classes because sometimes you need to be sure your class is unique. So, but let's use the ID once again. So, so we then call driver. Here I am. What do you want from me? I want you to find elements for me. So quickly, I would just, we'll go through this later, but I would just need to mention this there. If you say find elements, so you can see there are two here. You go find elements and find elements. One with X, S, with one without S. So there are two different things. So you select the one without S because we are looking for one element. There are some instances where you will be looking for more than one element. So for instance, in a drop down, you want to know how many elements is in that drop down. You'll be using elements with S. So that is going to bring a list of web elements for you. As you can see, this is returning a web element, but this is going to return lists of web elements. So there's difference in that. So that's another thing that you go for an interview, they will ask you about this thing. What's the difference between find elements and find elements? So that is a difference. So, and how do you use them? You use the find elements when you want to get more than one element from your DOM, so from your web page. And a good example is when you are working with drop down, or you want to know how many elements is in that drop down. You can use it because it's going to return a list for you. Then when you return that list, you can do the count of how many elements it returns. But in this instance of ours, it's going to be find element without S. So now we're going to get the submit button. So by what? But we said let's use ID, okay? So then we put that, okay? Then, so after that, what do we do with that? We click. So that is what we need to do. So as you can see, there's some issues there, right? So I know I've done some issues. So it's saying that there's error here, there's error here. So that's why you need to be careful of what you do. If you are very, very new, so you need to do it slowly and gently. So in the process of me actually deleting some stuff, I deleted one brace. I didn't actually know that was a mistake, so I can put that back. So and that will resolve the issues, as you can see. So that's fine. But if I undo right now, so this is what it was before, and I go back, and you can see where the problem started from. As you can see, that is what the issue is. So this is what I had before, and then I deleted that. So that shouldn't be what I needed to do. So I can go back again and do what. So you need to know how to resolve these issues. So, okay, all right, so that I've done the clicks. So now let's leave this one right now. This kind of a bit advanced. We'll leave this for the next class. So this is where you will now assert. So I would put, this is step 4, and then step 5. This is going to be step 5. Step 5. So our step 5 is now get your elements. When you get your elements, so I will say now this is still going to be step 5, but we will say step 5A. So let's say that one is step 5A, step 5B. Then when you get your element, then send keys to the element. So you will do this for all the actions that you want. So I'll just leave that as it is right now. The same thing applies to this. So, and for clicks, I think we'll do that also. So this also will also be in step 5, because it might be, you might not need to do. Step 5 will change based on your requirements, to be honest. So step 5, this is now assert that the form is submitted. So for this, we're going to leave it for now. So, and we'll come back to that later. So let's go and let's run our test. So let's run this test, and you can see I say it's a good practice to check what is happening there. It's passing and it's running and it's finished. So the error, okay, let's see what it says. There's some, yeah, that is the saying throw. Where's that from? Okay, it's still complete. It's still saying that you cannot see my elements, which I think is totally wrong. It's not saying my steps, so let me do a claim, and then okay, and it's a good practice. Then compile. So that could be an issue that you will have. So then after that, I would test. I'll click on test. So it's saying it's compiling and it's running the test. Okay, good. So it's navigating to that site and it's click, yeah. So Is this supposed to click, but it's not clicked? So we look at what the issue is. Okay. Let's see. Think it's finished anyway. So yeah, failure to. Okay. So sys pass, sys3 undefined. Two scenarios. Where's it getting two scenarios from? Oh, okay. There's one scenario here actually. So I need to. Okay. Let me comment this one out. I don't need this one. Hold on. I don't need this one. Debug the test. So we're having this issue, but I think, if I'm right, the issue would be from our our test runner rather. So from our test runner, our glue is glued to the step definition folder, actually, to the test definition folder. So, but right now we have our blue sky form step, which is not in there. So our feature, all features that you have should be stored in there. So that one is fine. We have our blue sky form test is stored in the feature folder. But however, our blue sky test is not stored in this particular folder. So two things that we can do is to do something like this. So we know it's not stored anywhere. But that means that our login step also is not going to work because this is now stored under Java. So, but what we could do is let's try to move this particular one inside this step there. So this is bringing this, okay, we can refactor it, okay, refactor it, bring everything in. So it's not here. I think that should solve the problem. So let's look into that and let's try to run it. So it's building. It's finished. Okay. All right, so it's finished, but let me try to clean again. Then compile. So now I can test. Let's turn down. Okay, still not mapping. Let's see what that is. Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, that's the same. So it should be fine. So I'll go into the step runner again, see what could be the issue. That is fine. Because it's not actually saying it's binded, so it will be the test runner because we got one of the clean one. So let's clean the. Okay. So let's see what this one brings in. So that is one test. Okay, that brings the browser. Okay, cool. That is the second one. All right. So I think it's working. I think so. This is the second one, so which is fine. All right. So I think that solved the issue. So got success. So it's basically run. So we got to scenario pass. So let's run this one again. Only that one. Okay, that's yeah, that's not looking good. So I'll need to look into why it's not running from this place actually, because it should also run. It should also run from here. However, it's actually running from here also. So you can run the test from here. For this also, hold on 1 minute. Let's see if this actually runs. Okay, yeah, that runs from there. So okay, let's try to define. So that's the first test, and that is the second test, so which is fine. So now, okay, what's the error? So thank first. So let me try for the last time. I'll look into this also, because normally it should, yeah, it's not binding to it from here. Okay, so we will look into that later. So you can run it from your test here actually, and you can run a specific test also from there. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So I'll do a quick recap of what we've done. So any question before I start again? So then we will do that for half an hour. So we'll look into this. So this is kind of end to end. So as you can see now, I've been able to run the test, this test actually. So he clicks, he navigates, enter file name, first name, last name. Then also he clicks on the pages, then after that click on the submit. So we've not actually done the assertion, so we're going to start from there. We're going to start from there next week. So any questions?